Alright, let's give him your attention, please. Jesus has the floor.
Oh, Jesus.
My name is Jesus Christ, and first off, I just like to let you all know I love you. Okay? And if you're wondering how I got here, you know, when I'm supposed to be dead and all, well, I was resurrected this morning. Actually, I just fell through the sky and ended up in this compost place. But if you look in the book of Revelation, you'll see it here. It says, "Look, he's coming with the clouds." I mean, fell straight through those clouds. But and also in Revelation it says, "Blessed are those who wash their robes, that they may have the right to the tree of life, and may go through the gates into the city." But outside are the dogs, those who practice magic arts, sexually immoral, the murderers, the idolaters, and everyone who loves and practices falsehood. So, if any of you don't want to go to hell, then I'll bless you right now, because I don't want you to bathe in the anguish and insatiable emptiness that lies in the dark void, cold and detached from the comforting light of the kingdom of heaven. Who wants to be blessed by me? I do.
I'll go bless you.
We love you, Jesus.
So you want to be blessed, my darling. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, peace be with you.
It's really just happening.
Would you like to be blessed?
Did you feel better?
It really just happened.
Do we?
I want to be a necromancer.
And before I start telling you about myself, I would like to baptize somebody today, not baptize. See, when I was resurrected this morning, I went on Goodreads.com to find a good romance novel. And when I was browsing through some stuff, I found a quote by this guy right here, Albert Einstein. Because that's his historical figure. Let me read the quote to you. "The word God is for me nothing more than the expression and product of human weaknesses, the Bible a collection of honorable, but still primitive legends which are nevertheless pretty childish."
Wow.
It's okay, Einstein, because I'm going to baptize you.
Oh my God.
Einstein, you need the Lord in your life. It's just going to be a little bit of water. Here.
You must understand that any knowledge about me is either knowledge from revelation, or it is knowledge acquired through the recollections of other people. And so, there's not really a unanimously agreed upon fact of when I was born, or anything like that. So I'll try and give you a detailed description of my life as accurate as I can, but who knows. And now to the matter at hand. I was born in Bethlehem in Judea. And my dad's name was Joseph, and my mom's name was Mary. Christianly speaking, I was born under the Immaculate Conception, which means that I was born free from hereditary sin. And even though I was born in a supernatural fashion, that doesn't necessarily mean my mother was born like that. Most Christians believe that she was born by normal biological means, not through the hand of God or anything. But God merely kept her soul pure at the time she forgot me. And my mother, I'm pretty sure she's a virgin. I mean, she may not be. And if you've ever heard the theory that I was black, well, I forgive her for adultery. I was born during the reign of Herod the Great. And when he heard about my birth, he felt threatened. So he tried to kill me. And he did this by ordering that all of Bethlehem's male children under age 2 to be murdered. Now, my father Joseph, he wanted to save me. So he took me to Egypt until Herod's death. And then we settled in the town of Nazareth in Galilee. I grew up in the town of Nazareth, and I worked as a carpenter while I was a young adult, carving stone and making stuff. After a while, when I was around the age of 30, I got baptized by John the Baptist, and that was in the Jordan River. And when he saw me, he proclaimed me as the the Son of God. So after getting baptized, I went into the Judean desert to meditate and fast for 40 days. And while I went there, the devil confronted me. I was there, and he said, Jesus, I'll turn this stone into bread for you. And I was like, nah, that's a flaw. And then he said, how about you jump off a cliff? I want to see the angels save you. I was like, nah, that's a flaw. And then he was finally like, I'll give you all the kingdoms of the world. And I was like, no, man, get out of here. 3 times the charm, I don't like you. So we left. And after that, I returned to Galilee. And people became my disciples. And one of the first people that started following me was Mary Magdalene. Boy, she was fine. When I started out with my ministry, I went to a wedding at Cana in Galilee. And they all ran out of wine there. So I turned their water into wine. And to the people there and to my followers, that was the first sign of how much glory I had. I went through Judea and Galilee, and I used parables to teach. I also healed the sick and the diseased, and more people began to follow me. And at one point, I had the Sermon on the Mount, and I was joined by a massive amount of people. I presented several discourses called Beatitudes, which had the spiritual teachings of love, humility, and compassion. People began to proclaim me as the Messiah. But the Pharisees, no. They accused me that I had the power of Satan. And I questioned their logic, and I told them that their line of thinking made them not so religious, and that made them work against me even harder. Soon before I died, I met with my 12 disciples for the Passover meal, and I gave them my final words. And when I was attending the Last Supper, I washed my disciples' feet. Would any of you like me to wash your feet?
Of course you would.
You're massaging
This
it.
is all about the massage.
It's symbolic. Now, let me explain to you why I did this. I did this because I wanted to explain to them, we're just all equal, okay? It says here, and I said this like a really long time ago, very truly I tell you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them. After the Last Supper, I went down to the Garden of Gethsemane to pray. And since all of my disciples fell asleep on me, though, I got arrested. And one of my disciples actually hurt one of the soldiers. He cut his ear off. But it's okay, because I healed the soldier. The next day, I was beaten and mocked. They put a crown on me and shipped me off the Mount Calvary, where I was crucified next to 2 thieves, because I'm the king of the Jews. Eventually, a soldier stuck a spear in my side. Water came out, and that showed that I was dead. They buried me in the tomb, and 3 days later, I wasn't in that tomb anymore. I led my disciples to Mount Olivet, and I told them to preach my gospel to humanity. Then I was taken upwards on the cloud, ascending into heaven. Now, before I end, I would like to let you all know that Christianity is not the only religion where I'm the main figure. I'm also the main figure in Mormonism and Gnosticism, which you guys probably heard of Mormonism, probably never have heard of Gnosticism. And even though I am the Son of God, that doesn't mean that, my teachings and my beliefs weren't touched on before. You can, for example, you can see a lot of similarities between my beliefs and the beliefs of the school of Hinduism known as Vedanta. In one of the Hindus' main texts, the Katha Upanishad, it is said that God is the fulfillment of all desires. And to pick up my wonderful book, have said, do not store up yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. In this world, the winds and leaves flit against your skin, but in the kingdom of heaven, that which transcends all earthly experience, that is eternal, and that is beyond all temporary pain and pleasure. When I put my hand over my heart, I can hear the low roaring of my spirit, and since my spirit is indestructible, I am free from the flames of hell. Verily, verily, I say unto you, let us come together as brethren, and we will be saved from even the highest peak of despair. That's all.
Okay, 11 minutes. Very good.
You look like Castiel from Supernatural.
I didn't want to